are willing to kind of lay yourselves down as you prepare yourself to receive the life lessons that I deliver to you guys on a regular basis. These things are important, and I know that we find motivation and inspiration from different sources, but I choose to be obedient in these moments and do these things that I believe God is calling me to do. I have a topic already lined up for this coming Saturday. I'm not going to leak it just yet, but the topic that I have prepared to deliver my life lesson on this coming Saturday, you are not going to miss this. I'm telling you, do not deny yourself. There may be something in it for you. So God places these topics into my spirit, and He gives it to me. I believe that God gives it to me in a way that He believes that I need it, that I need to receive these messages. So when God gives it to me, then I make the wise decision to prepare these things, write them down, study them, think about them, all that old good stuff, and deliver them over to you. So I greet you with peace and love, kings and queens. And I just really want you to do a self-check-in in these moments right now. I want to ask you, how are you? Have you checked in with yourself today? Have you asked yourself today, how am I doing today? How do I feel? What is going on with me mentally? What is going on with me emotionally? Just taking a few moments out to ask yourself where you are in these moments. I cannot express the importance of that to you. I make that my business before I get out of my bed every morning. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Are you well enough to get out your bed? And I'm not talking about physically well enough, because by the grace of God, I'm able to turn around, roll over, kick my legs down, and get up out the bed. But I'm talking about mentally, am I well enough? Emotionally, am I well enough? Am I well enough to take on the things that lies ahead of me in the day, to talk to people, to do the things that I am responsible for doing on the regular basis, all of those things. Because if I can't help myself, I can't help anyone else. And I'm not even going to attempt to do anything for anyone else if I don't do a self check-in and make sure that I am okay. So I don't know when the last time you made that a priority for yourself, but I am here to remind you today that a self check-in is something that everyone should do on the regular basis, not only just once a day, but even multiple times a day. Check in with yourself. Are you okay? So I'm okay. I'm okay today. I kind of make sure of that. I put myself in a place mentally that I don't have no choice but to be okay. And it's not just me taking on a billion and one things and trying to tackle everything that I have on my plate, and people coming at me from different angles and responsibilities and kids and bills and all that type of stuff. It don't have nothing to do with any of that. I want to be okay in my spirit. I want to be okay in my mind. I want to be okay in my emotions. If something is interrupting me emotionally, I want to check in with what that thing is and get down to the source of why this thing is affecting me emotionally. Come on, bring it on and sit down. Let's have this conversation. This is me talking to me. Let's have this conversation because I want you to be okay. You got to confront that thing. You got to confront it instantly. Confront your emotions. Ask yourself, why do you feel the way that you feel in these moments? There is nothing wrong with feeling your emotions. It's okay to feel the way that you feel. You are human. You have human emotions. You have to confront these things. You don't want to continue to go through the same things emotionally over and over and over again, year after year. Some people are probably struggling with some of the same emotional issues now that they have been struggling with 5 or 10 years ago. It's time for us to confront those things, move past them, so you can move on to another level of your life. So with all of that being said, I am going to ask you once again, Are you okay? How are you? You don't have to tell me. You ain't got to knock on your next door neighbor door. You ain't got to call and curse nobody out about how they got on your nerves last week, and you know you was wrong for doing this, and I asked you not to do it and you did it anyway, and all that kind of stuff. You ain't got to do none of that. I want you to do what you have to do that is necessary to take care of you on today. So ask yourself, am I okay? And if you are not okay, just know that it is okay to not be okay. That's fine. That is absolutely perfectly fine for you to not be okay in these moments. But let's get down to the source of why am I not okay? Something is interrupting my spirit right now. I don't like the last conversation that I had. I don't like the way the last person talked to me, treated me, whatever. And I want you to deal with that within yourself. I'm going to do what I have to do for myself to put myself in a better place. It's no one else's responsibility. You don't have to go out here looking for an apology and all this stuff and trying to get closure. Get yourself some closure. So check in with yourself today. Your happiness is your own responsibility. It don't have nothing to do with your husband, with your boyfriend, with your wife, with your spouse. And there are people that genuinely love you and would love to see a smile on your face and want to see you happy. And that's all fine and good. It feels good when someone else cares about our happiness. But I want you to care about your own happiness more than anybody else. So prioritize your happiness today. Check in with yourself. Make sure that you are okay. So just take a few moments today and ask yourself, are you okay? So how do you feel? I thought that was very important. How do you feel in these moments? I want you to check in with yourself today. I do self check-ins from time to time just to kind of remind you that how you feel in these moments are important, and that goes for everyone. And I know quite often a lot of us don't get in the habit with checking with ourselves, checking in with ourselves on the moment to moment basis. And I want us to be able to make that a priority for us, because once again, how you feel is important. You don't have to go laying your emotions out on the line and telling everybody how you feel. Just do what you have to do to put yourself in a better place. If you are not okay today, then be honest with yourself with where you are today and do whatever it is that you have to do by all means necessary. Take care of yourself. That don't just mean washing your face and brushing your teeth or whatever. That's not the end of taking care of yourself. Yes, do all that. Wash your face, brush your teeth, but check in with your emotions. Check in with yourself and make sure that you are okay on the daily basis. So welcome to the 8th month of the year, and welcome to this week's life lesson. I am so excited. This is my birthday month. Yes, you don't have to give me a reason to celebrate. I can celebrate every day like it is my birthday. That is just Sakara in a nutshell. I love to be happy. I love to spread joy. I love to dance. I love to laugh. I love to love. I love to dance. Did I say that already? I can't dance right now. Oh my gosh. It has been, I haven't danced since before June 25th. That was the day of my accident. And I'm just not ready. My leg is not supporting me in the way that it was supporting me before this accident. But I'm not worried about it. I have danced all over the world, and I know that God will allow me to be able to dance. So even if I gotta dance in my seat, then I am going to dance in my seat. But there is so much to celebrate when I open my eyes today. Just the fact that I am alive, that is enough for me to be grateful for. I was just, even before I got on this live today, I love listening to gospel music, and I was just so full of gratefulness and just thinking about the reality of how I could have died in the car accident a few months ago in June. Like, I really could have died in that car accident. And it just like as the time goes past, like you really don't understand things in the moment because you are wrapped up in everything that's going on. So you really don't understand things until you kind of look back on them in hindsight. And it is becoming more clear and clear to me every single day, just thinking about how blessed I am to be able to be sitting here and talking and just being alive and being blessed and laughing and smiling and being happy. I know my situation can be so much worse than what it is, and I am just through the roof so grateful that I am alive today. I mean, I woke up this morning with gratefulness in my heart and gratefulness in my mind, grateful for the air in my lungs and all those type of things. So y'all know, with that segment, with that being said, that segment of this week's life lesson, before we get into the topic of this week, then I always like to take a few moments to just consume ourselves with gratefulness. Fill yourself up with gratefulness. So before we get started, let's just think about the things that we are most grateful for. I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know what that means for you. I don't know what God did for you. I know what God did for me, and I can only speak for myself and the things that I am grateful for. But I like to call this part of this week's life lesson, and every week's life lesson, I like to call it silent gratitude. So I encourage everyone to join in with me with a little bit of silent gratitude. I am not denying the fact that you jumped up this morning, you said your prayers, you probably got down on your knees and had you a good old conversation with God. And this don't have to be in prayer form, or it don't have to be a prayer, but I would like us to allow ourselves to reflect on the things that we are blessed with on the regular basis, because in all reality, we are probably more blessed than we give ourselves credit for. There are probably things that you are overlooking and just don't even realize how blessed you actually are. So it's like a reminder. It's like a reminder, like, wow, I haven't really thought about that. And when you allow yourself to be filled with gratefulness, you literally open up a whole brand new world for yourself. When you allow yourself to be overtaken and consumed with gratefulness, I'm telling you, some people don't like to acknowledge the fact that they are blessed at all. And that's not going to help you. It's just not. Like, God is the giver of all good things. Like, you did not do the things that you have. You didn't do those things for yourself, and it would not be possible if it was not for the infinite powers above us, whatever you might call it. That is not a religious thing, it's a human thing. Every religion, everyone should allow themselves to be consumed in worship and acknowledging the giver of life and acknowledging the giver of all good things, and just acknowledging the fact that you are blessed, because there are so many people out here that would do anything to trade places with you. People in third world countries, people who don't have food and clean water and homes and air conditioning and all those type of things, and the way that they have to go to the bathroom, and just living in poverty and sewage and all of those things. We are blessed, especially us here in the United States, and a lot of us take those things for granted. I know personally people that live in third world countries that I communicate with on a regular basis, and they are just not as blessed as we are, and we should not take those things for granted. We should acknowledge the fact that we are blessed, and we do not have to be blessed as we are. You didn't even have to be born on this part of the world. For those of us that are here in the United States, I know that my videos have spread it to different parts of the world, but for us here in the United States, you could have been born somewhere else where your struggle could just have been way worse. I know it's kind of hard for some people to acknowledge how blessed they are. That's why I kind of like hammer this thing when I come to this segment of my life lesson. I really want you to realize how blessed you actually are, and that's not easy for a lot of people, and we lose sight of it because of our daily struggles. We go through things on a regular basis, and a lot of times we think about what we don't have. I don't have enough money to pay my bills, or I don't don't have this, or I'm running out of that. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet. You thinking about the debt that you have accumulated, and now you mad at God because you ain't got enough money to pay them bills that you done racked up, and all you praying for money and he ain't give it to you yet because you ain't doing right by your money. We sitting up here mad at God, but we not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So come on. Come on, be grateful anyway, with all that debt and all the things and not enough and all the bills, and you still got to pay the mortgage, and your health might not be 100%, and your kids is getting on your nerves, and all of those type of things. Take time out to be grateful anyway. When you are grateful, your life is better. Your life is better. It's easier for you to deal with the things that we have to deal with on the regular basis when you take time out and learn how to be more grateful than you are. So this may not be for everybody. Maybe this is just for people who desire to live a better life. If you want to live a better life, take some time out to realize the things that you have, you don't have to have. You just don't. You could be sitting up somewhere with nothing, or not even with the things that you have. And I believe that God sees us when we are not as grateful as we should be. And he sees us, the ones of us that takes our time out to learn how to be more grateful on the regular basis. He acknowledges that as well. So we're going to be the ones who open ourselves up to many more blessings by allowing ourselves to be grateful for the things that we have. We're not going to overlook those things. And that goes for anybody, everybody, anywhere. I don't care where you are, what your name is, what your position is, how long you've been in college, and all this type of thing. I don't care who it is. Take time out to be grateful for everything that you have. I thank God for my testimony. I thank God for the things that God has allowed me to go through, and the things that he has allowed me to make it through. I thank God for how strong I am. Those things gave me my strength. It gave me my character. It gave me my integrity. It gave me my wisdom. It made me happy. Because I know what it feel like to be sad. I know what it feel like to be lonely. I know what it feel like to be degraded and kicked down and abused and molested and all of those type of things. I thank God for the things that he has allowed me to make it through, because I see the other side of it. I could not experience the joy and peace that I have over my life right now if it wasn't for the things that God has allowed me to make it through. I'm not one of those people that was born with a silver spoon in their whole life was rainbows and peaches and cream and lovely and all unicorns and all that type of stuff. I had to go through hell to get to where I am today. That's why I am able to appreciate where I am and what I have. When I say I'm grateful, I'm grateful. I'm telling you, that thing is not little to me. That thing is like boom, like explosion, bust the door wide open. I'm telling you, I'm grateful. And as grateful as I am, I know that's not just my story. There are things that God has allowed you to make it through as well. Things that you probably sitting up there with your mouth poked out, talking about something. I don't know why I had to go through that anyway, because he chose you. You are a chosen people. He chose you to go through the things that you go through. He chose you for that battle for a reason, no matter what it was. Whether it's cancer, whether you had to bury your loved one, whether you're going through things in your, whatever you're going through in your finances, your marriage, divorce, your health, your whatever you had to go through, whatever you are currently going through. God chose you for that battle for a reason, because he wants you to experience the other side. So instead of us being potty mouth about the things that God has is continuing to allow, God, he allowed me, carrying me through the storm. He's carrying me. I ain't got to do nothing but sit here. I'm like smooth gliding through the storm right now. I don't have to do nothing. Please don't get me started. That's how good God is to me. And I know I'm not the only one. I know God is just as good to you that he is to me. I just take time out to acknowledge it. And I'm here to remind you that you should acknowledge the blessings that are over your life now as well. Did I just go up? Listen, sorry, not sorry. because that thing is bigger than what we realize. It just is. And for some of us to be sitting up there talking about I'm self-made and what I got on my own and I'm doing it for myself and all this. Girl, bye. Boy, bye. Go down and sit down somewhere. It would not even be possible if it was not for the favor and blessings that is over your life right now. It wouldn't even be possible for you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, for the self-made ones out there, you don't have to be self-nothing. You can be nowhere with nothing. So we have to acknowledge the things that God bless us with on a regular basis or not. To each his own, but I choose to. So let me calm my spirit. Let me calm my spirit. I'm telling you, I was on high this morning, just like full of gratefulness for the things that God has allowed me and continues to allow me to make it through on a regular basis. I can't even believe that even right now I'm going through the things that I'm going through. I was just talking to a friend on the phone last night who's going through a few things, and he's like, I'm stressed out. I'm like, well, when you gonna stop being stressed out? He like, I'm stressed out until I'm not stressed out no more. Well, when are you gonna choose to stop being so stressed out? That's a choice. I refuse to let anything stress me out at this point. Nothing. I don't want to be stressed out. It's not going to bring me closer to a solution. It's not going to help me. It's going to make it more difficult for me to get through the things that I have to go through right now. So stress is not going to help you. It's not going to help anyone. I don't care what you say. People think that stress is a part of life and everybody gets stressed out and all that type stuff. Stress is a choice, and you can choose to not be stressed out. I don't care who it is, who getting on your nerves, what they doing, what they talking about. You can block them out, do whatever you got to do to gain you some peace of mind. Do what you got to do for yourself. You don't have to let anything or anyone stress you out. So I ain't trying to hear. For those of y'all who be sitting up there talking about how stressed you are and you don't know what I'm going through, it don't matter. You're making it worse. Now your health is all out of whack because you're sitting up there letting yourself get stressed out. You're sitting up there popping blood pressure pills. You're in the emergency room. You don't feel good. And that's where stress just made your situation go from bad to worse. So I don't even remember the last time I have allowed something to stress me out. Even with everything that I have to go through on a regular basis. I got a lot of kids. I got a lot of responsibilities. I keep saying I'm not going to say I had a major setback with me being in a car accident. My life was just shifted around from one place to another place. I don't want to see it as a setback. I want to see it for a set up. Like, God is really blessing me through this. And through everything that I am going through, I still make the conscious decision in my mind to not allow myself to be stressed out. I ain't doing it. I don't want to. Stress is not for me. That is for someone else. So right now, I am going to take these moments to allow myself to be consumed in gratefulness. I'm going to close my eyes, take a deep breath, and think about the things that I am most grateful for. And I encourage you to do the same thing as well. So here we go. I just be like going and going and going and going and going. Once I start, I just don't stop. I be like, wait a minute. I know that there is more for me to be grateful for. So listen, if y'all don't understand that I don't know what to tell you. You can literally feel your vibrations lifting up. You feel a grace and a peace over your life when you allow yourself to be grateful on the moment-to-moment basis. So I already told you guys what this week's topic is. Today today we are going to talk about mentality. Mentality, where are you mentally? Let's kind of break that thing down, see what it looks like for you. Wherever you are mentally, it's okay to be where you are. Let me just get that out the way. I am not here to judge you, tell you what you should be doing, where you should be in the place of your life and all of that type of stuff. I don't know your walk. I don't know your struggle. I don't know what you had to go through. I don't know what you're going through right now. All I'm saying is we can check in with our mentality and see where we are. If where you are as far as your mentality is concerned, if it is not serving you, if it is not growing you, if it is not moving you to a higher level of your life, moving you forward to the next level of your life, or doing for you what it needs to do, you might think it's something else. You might not even realize that it is where my mentality is, this place that I have myself set up in my mind. You might not even realize that that is hindering you from moving forward to the next level of your life. And in all reality, it just may be. That might be the reason why you are not where you desire to be. I'm not talking about as far as society is concerned, or which judgmental family members is talking about. You should be doing this and why you ain't doing that. And she was smart when she was younger and all this kind of stuff. I don't know what's wrong with her. What's wrong with them? Because people judge too much and I don't like that. All I'm saying is it's okay to be wherever you are. Just think about your mentality and the place that you have allowed yourself to be set up at in your mind mentally. And if it is not growing you, then check yourself and tell yourself in all honesty, if I had to alter some things in my mind, if I had to rearrange some things in my mind, that I am not in a place that I need to be, this is not helping me. It's just not helping me. I want more for my life, and it just may be possible that I can be in the way of my future. I could be in the way of my husband. I can be in the way of my life, of my children, of my destiny, generational curses, generational wealth, whatever that I want for myself, mental health, physical health, emotional health, peace of mind, whatever I want for myself. This mentality is hindering me. So let me kind of bust that thing wide open so I can move out of my own way so I can get to where I want to be. Listen, I promise you, I am trying to help you, because I see that a lot of people are stuck in this type of mentality that is literally not allowing them to grow. And I don't want that to be you. I don't want that to be me. I don't want to be the person that gets in the way of my own destiny. I want everything that God has for me. And if we might even think that it's other people, oh, I'm sick of this person, they always getting in the way. And if it wasn't for that person, I'll be further along and all of this type of stuff. What about you? What about you? I always listen. This is me. Y'all should know me by now. I'm going to keep that thing 100. I'm going to keep it a bean. I'm going to keep it a buck. This is how we talk in Philly. Listen, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. I'm going to tell it to you like it T.I. is. You might be the reason why you are not as blessed as you could be. It could be your mentality that is getting in your way. It ain't everybody else. It ain't society. It ain't the electric company. It ain't your job. It ain't your boss. It's your mentality that is not allowing you to grow in ways that you need to grow. It ain't your religion. It ain't God. It ain't your family members. All the things that we try to make excuses for. It ain't your kids. It's you. It's you. It's because of the mentality that you have allowed yourself to have and grow and be comfortable with. We are comfortable with our mentality being in this one place, whether it is helping us or not. This is the way I think. Can't nobody tell me how to think. I've been thinking like this for years. Okay. Listen, whatever floats your boat, and that is going to keep you moving across the waters, then you do that. But I want to grow. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to get better. I want more out of life. I want more for myself. I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to be stuck in one place and not allowing myself to open myself up to my destiny, the blessings, and everything that God, this world, this universe has waiting for me. I want everything that belongs to me. That might not be for everybody. That might be a lot. Everything that's yours might be too much for you. I want all mine. I want all mine. None of mine. It ain't for nobody else. Nothing like that. Don't pass my blessings on to. I don't have no mind with sharing my blessings. I don't have no problem with that. But I want everything that God has for me. I want everything that's mine, and I don't want to get in the way of my own self or my own blessings. So mentality, let's get on into it. Mentality is your personal way of thinking. Boom. Bang, bang, there it is. That is your personal way of thinking. It don't have nothing to do with nothing or nobody else. Now, the people and the things around us can influence our mentality. And sometimes I believe that we put too much emphasis on other people's opinions and the things that are happening around us and the things that are happening in society and the things that our family members expect out of us and all these judgmental things and religion and all of this type of stuff. We can allow the things around us to influence our mentality in an unhealthy way. I just want to kind of flip that light switch on right there. Listen, you take that information and do whatever you want to do with it. But I'm going to put it out there anyway. Sometimes we can allow outside sources to affect our mentality in a way that is not beneficial to us. I ain't say nothing about your pastor. I ain't say nothing about your church. I ain't saying nothing about your place of worship, whatever religion, wherever you choose to worship, whoever you call your God. I'm not saying nothing about any of that personally, in particular, any particular group of people. You already know. Just from me saying that, you already know what type of influence that you are receiving from whatever that is affecting your mentality. You already know. You are, because you just thought about it just now. And I know you did. You was like, you know what? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because you know what's affecting your mentality in a negative way, and you know what's affecting your mentality in a positive way. You know the things that you let get up under your skin. You know the things that you let bring out the best of you. And you know the things that you allow to bring out the worst of you. All of these things is your choice. You know the people that you get around, the people that you talk to, certain group of people, they gonna start ticking your buttons and pushing your buttons and taking you on. You choose to indulge in the things, whatever that you indulge in on the regular basis, but you know the things, how they affect your mentality. So, and on top of that, these things influence our mentality, but it only goes as far as we allow it to go. So I want you to be reminded of that as well. So mentality is your personal way of thinking. It influences how you think and feel and behave at any given situation. So this is what your mentality does. I'm telling you, just giving you something to look at, to think about when you are thinking about your actions, your reactions to any situation of life, whatever. Just think about how you are at different times, different places or whatever. What type of mentality, what kind of type of mood does a certain situation put you in or whatever. This is your mentality and how you react to these things. Some people know how to push your buttons. They just do. I got mine. I'm telling you. I love him so much. My 22-year-old son, he is my best friend. I could never imagine my life without this guy, but he can tick my buttons more than anyone else. His dad was like that, and I know that that's why. Like, he reminds me so much of his dad. And I'm telling you, there's just certain people that know how to tick 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 tap dance all over your emotions and take you from a place where you were to a place where you would rather not be, so to speak. So we got those people that get us bent out of shape. But in all honesty, I did acknowledge that how much that I have allowed my 22-year-old son to get me bent out of shape over the years. And I kind of took some control back over it. I was like, nah, you know what? I ain't doing it. I don't want anyone to have that much power and control over my emotions on the moment-to-moment basis. That's my son. I'm going to always love him. But I don't want anybody to have that much power and control over my emotions. I ain't trying to be sitting up here all bent up out of shape, cussing somebody out and all this type of stuff, because you know what you about to say is going to get on my nerves. Like, no, I don't want to do that to myself. So, it's about how we react to different situations, people, places, and things, and all of those type of things. So your mentality can impact your reality. Your mentality, listen, I suggest that y'all get a pencil and a piece of paper right now, because I'm going to say some stuff. It might kind of fly over your head a little bit, and I'm going to try to break it down the best way that I possibly can. But the things that I have dumped into my notes that I am getting ready to read off to y'all in a few seconds, I'm telling you, you want that to kind of sink in and sit there and sizzle a little bit and resonate with your spirit. You don't want it to go nowhere for a while. I'm going to give you some things to think about. These things caught my attention. I was like, wow, really? So here we go. So your mentality can impact your reality. Listen to this. How we interpret things can change the outcome of them. So, all right, let me read that again. Your mentality can impact your reality, and how we interpret these things can change the outcome of them. So we don't really give that the credit that it deserves. Like, how we interpret things on the regular basis can impact how we interpret these things can change the outcome of it. So it's really up to you what the outcome of different situations is going to be. And I don't think that we give enough credit to that. Like, it is literally, the ball is in your court in any given situation. I have said this before, I will say it again. Life is 90% of what happens to you and 10% of how we react to these things. So quite often, us as human beings kind of got it twisted. We think that, this is just too much. Life is just too much. All these things is happening to me, and all this and that and that. But what you gonna do about it? How you gonna react to it? You don't have to allow these things to happen to you. You can happen to the thing. Like, come on with it. I dare you to cross that line, because I'm going to jump all over you, no matter what the situation is. We don't have to allow life to take over us. We can take over our lives. So how we react to these, I thought it was very important that I wrote that down, but I'm going to continue going. How we interpret these things can change the outcome of them. So researchers have explored how the human mind can change reality. So I got down into a little bit of psychology during this study. That's why I said I want you to put your ear to the microphone. Listen, if you don't think you're going to remember this a little bit later, I'm telling you to write this down. They did a study, and they believe that how researchers have explored of how the human mind can change reality. I said that part already. Your thoughts can become your reality, and what you think comes true in a very real sense. I'm telling you, the power of thought. Manifestation. That's just what manifestation is. And they have done studies behind these things. That's why I'm telling y'all. I talk about the way that we think on the regular basis, it controls our reality. And I never realized the truth in that until I did this study on mentality. And I see that researchers actually studied and came down to the conclusion of your thoughts become your reality, because what you think becomes true in a very real sense. It just does. So changing your mindset doesn't happen by accident. And I'm glad that I wrote that down as well. So yeah, your thoughts becomes your reality, and what you think comes true in a very real sense. That just kind of took me off. I was like, wow. So we can manifest our thoughts into becoming our reality, the things that we think about over and over and over again, the things that we kind of meditate on. Because when you hear the word meditation, you can probably label it or think about it as strictly a positive thing, but meditation can work in both ways. We can meditate in a negative way, and we can meditate in a positive way that can be helpful and beneficial to us. And the way that we meditate in a negative way is when we think about the same negative situation over and over and over again, or we think about the worst case scenarios over and over and over again. You think about the worst case scenario, that's going to become your reality. You think whatever you're thinking about is going to become your reality. And I know I talk about these things so much, but I never realized that there were actually studies to back up some of the things that I have been telling you guys for so long. So that's the part that kind of like really excites me, because it makes me want to be more mindful of the thoughts that I allow myself to think on a regular basis, and my mentality, where my headspace is, and how I choose to think on the regular basis. So they believe that our minds can shape our reality. Brain scans show that the imagination can shape reality. So they actually did brain scans that prove that your imagination shapes your reality. Somebody told me to imagine a negative scenario. It wasn't even that long ago. They was like, just imagine if this and that happened. I was like, no, I'm not imagining that, because number one, it's extremely negative, and I don't want that to become reality. And I said that to the person out loud. I was like, no. I was like, I'm not imagining that. I don't want to imagine that, because if that was to actually happen, that would be no good for me. So I want to get in the habit of imagining things in the way that I actually want them to happen. We're talking about mentality and the way that we choose to set things up in our minds today. So yeah, they actually did a study that kind of backed some of this stuff up, some of the things that I talked to you about, your mentality and where your mind is having a positive mental attitude, and the way that we think on a regular basis, and how important these things are. And it literally said that brain scans, they did scans of the brain that show how your imagination and how you imagine things in your own mind can become your reality. So I want to give you some things to think about as far as that's concerned. What do you imagine for yourself? What have you been imagining for yourself? What do you imagine your future to look like? What do you imagine your finances to look like? What do you imagine your health to look like? What do you imagine for your family? Instead of harping and dwelling on maybe some of the things that are happening maybe in your family right now that may not be so good. Do you ever tell yourself or have the conversation with God that this is not what I want for my family in the long run? I want want more for my family and their future. I want better things for my future. I can imagine me and my family sailing across the seas, or taking a cruise, or laughing at the airport, or enjoying a home that I pray for, or enjoying us doing things that we always desire to do. Enjoy us laughing, enjoying each other's company, eating good foods, having amazing holidays, exchanging gifts, or whatever. What type of things are you imagining? And I'm using family for an example because family is very important, and it should be important. And even though the things that might be happening is only what you can see, because in our finite minds, us as human beings, we can only see but so far with our, unless we use our imaginations, we can only see but so far with the sight of our eyes. And that gets our minds going, like, look at you over there acting stupid. And then that's just going through your mind. We're like, get on my doggone nerve. You just acting like a cold stone complete idiot. And then that is what's going through your mind. But what do you imagine your loved one looking like or doing, or the life that you would rather see your loved one living, or whatever? What can you imagine that looking like if you had it your way, if the power was in your hands? And I'm telling you that it literally is. If you imagine better for yourself, because it's endless, the imagination does not have it into it. Our eyes are limited, and what we can see is limited. But when you begin to use your imagination and think about the possibilities of the things that you want for yourself and your future and your family and all of those type things, there's no end to that. There's no end to that. So my question to you is, how are you using your imagination? Are you using it in a way that can be beneficial to you? And if not, are you going to use it in a way that is going to be beneficial to you, regardless of whatever your situation is, regardless of whatever is happening around you right now? I'm talking about your mentality as far as these things are concerned. We know that your marriage didn't work out. We know that, your choice of careers, your job or whatever, you don't want to be working there. You don't want to be working you ain't getting paid enough for the time and effort that you put in and the hard work, and they don't appreciate you, and you're overworked and underpaid and all of those type of things. But what do you want for yourself? You want to be comfortable in your finances. You want to do something that you love. You want to make a positive impact on this world. I'm talking to Sakara right now. You want to make a positive impact on this world. What do you imagine for yourself? Can you let your imagination go on and on and on? You want a loving relationship. You want that man to give his whole heart to you. You want to be kissed and loved and hugged and talked to nicely. They done cursed you out already. The person that you used to be with and talk to you in ways that you know that you don't deserve to be talked to. When we keep playing the tape in our minds, the things that we went through and what we ain't gonna allow happen to us no more. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you no more. Those days are over. You don't have to keep replaying the tape in your mind over and over and over again. What you want you and your boo to do? What's your future looking like? Y'all walking up the beach holding hands in the sand and all that type of stuff. You think that stuff can't become your reality because you have not been imagining that. You have been replaying the tape of the hurt. I was just having a conversation with another friend. I'm telling you, listen, and I have to put out, people are recognizing real quick, let me get this out the way. People are already recognizing my website. It's called Positive Mental Attitudes, and I give out way too much free advice. I am going to start selling my advice, and maybe people will take heed to it even more or whatever. But I didn't post my my website for Positive Mental Attitudes. I will start my counseling and one-on-one personal counseling and all that type of stuff, but I'm already doing it. I counsel people a lot, even beat up, limping, hopping around, walking on one crutch and all that type of stuff. I am still counseling people, but I'm not going to keep doing it for free. I'm just going to say that. But I was talking to a friend, just recently about where he is mentally, about his mentality as far as a few things are concerned. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I know the things that I was talking to him about are kind of in my notes, and my friend just didn't want to see things in a way that would be very beneficial to him moving forward. And that's what I want us to do. I want us to be able to see things in a way that it is going to be beneficial to us, kind of open up our minds to a whole nother world of brand new possibilities. And when we don't do that, it has a negative reflection on our lives. So our imagination, the things that we want for ourselves in our lives and our love life and our future and all those type of things, if we look at it in a way that is going to be beneficial to us, then maybe we can manifest these things happening for us in our life in a very positive way. So it's going to affect you where you are mentally, how you allow yourself to think. I'm going over this brain wave, this thing that we got up here, whatever it is, muscle mush, whatever the brain is made out of, is so powerful. There are so many things going on in our brain, and I don't think that we give credit to the way that we think and the things that we allow ourselves to think on a regular basis, how much impact that has on our life. That's why when God gave me mentality, I was like, I can't not talk about mentality, because you can tell the mentality of a certain individual just by having a one-on-one conversation with them. And a lot of people are stuck in a way and mentally are stuck in a way in their mind that is not very beneficial to them, that have not been very beneficial to them over the years, and still continually, even to this very day, the way that you think is not helping you. So I want us to be able to think in a way that it is going to be more beneficial to us. So let me keep on going. You have to want, so changing your mindset doesn't happen by accident. I did read that already, but we have to be very purposeful about changing our mindset in a way that it is going to be beneficial to us. So you have to want more. You have to want more, a more positive life in order to have, wait a minute, let me read that again. You have to want a more positive mindset in order for you to have a more positive life. You have to want a more positive mindset. I don't know a person out here who doesn't want to think more positively. So we want a more positive life, but we don't want to do the work to ensure that. Some of us, we get comfortable with thinking in these negative ways. We get used to pain. We get used to pain and thinking about the thing that has hurt us, and thinking about the relationship that didn't work and the person that did whatever they did to harm us and all of those type of things. And we kind of harp on those things for so long, and it's hard to get anything else through. Like, how can you get any kind of positive outcome from negative thinking? Like, those things are not just cliche. Those things are reality. You're not going to get very much positivity out of your life if you are in a constant habit of thinking in a negative way. That's not going to work out for you. I know it's comfortable. It's comfortable where you at. You can be angry at that person. You can push the blame on somebody else. You can yell, kick, scream, have a hissy fit in your mind and in real life. You don't have to take accountability, because in all reality, it probably was the other person's fault. But you don't have to continue to harp on these things in a negative way. You can push these things to the side. Whatever happened, it hurt. It happened. It hurt. I want to heal. You can heal from these things and think about the life that you actually want to create for yourself. And you can make these things a reality for yourself by creating them in your mind and allowing these things to manifest in your life. These things are actually real. I'm telling you, they are. So yeah, you have to want a more positive mindset in order to have a more positive life. You have to want these things for yourself. So practice positive thinking. I know. We just been throwing I call it piss party. I know what it feel like to throw yourself a little piss party and you shouting and stomping and screaming and slobbing and rolling over, you cussing everybody out and all that type of stuff. But practice positive thinking. That is going to help you on the moment to moment basis. Even if everything around you is negative, everything is falling down on your head, nothing is going right, find one thing, one single thing that can bring you joy or hope or happiness or peace in your mind. And even if it's that one thing, that's why I said practice, because that one thing can infest to a large amount of positive things running around in your brain. Practice positive thinking. You can start with one simple thing. That's all it takes. Listen, I told y'all Rome wasn't built in one night. These things are not just going to happen at the drop of a dime. And that does not mean that just because it's not going to happen at the drop of a dime that these things are not going to happen at all. I'm here to let you know that it is possible. You just have to want it. Excuse me. So yes, practice positive thinking. Do something nice for yourself. So I'm giving y'all a few tips. Whether you're going to hold on to these tips or not, I'm going to hold on to these tips. Of course, I have it right here on my notes, but I take mental notes of these things, and I'm telling you, the things that I tell you guys on a regular basis, I apply these things directly to my life because I want them to be effective to me in my life. So I'm not going to tell you anything that is going to counteract against the life that you desire for yourself. I'm going to try to tell you things that is going to help move you forward and closer to the life that you actually desire for yourself. So if you are the person that wants to help yourself in a positive way, then maybe you will take heed to some of these things. So practice positive thinking. You don't want to forget to do that. Do something nice for yourself. Get in the habit of doing nice things for yourself. Talk about your feelings. So I only wrote 3 tips down. There is so many things that you can do to practice having a healthy mentality, to change your mentality from whatever it was to whatever you want it to be. I just wrote down 3 things. I suggest that you take notes of those things. Practice positive thinking. Do something nice for yourself. I suggest that you do something nice for yourself every single day and talk about your feelings. Get those things out of you. Get it out. Get it out. Talk about how you feel. I ask people how they feel all the time. The people that I counsel on the regular basis, I ask them how they feel all the time. I asked you today, how are you feeling? Have you checked in with yourself today? Because that is a very important stepping stone to you moving to a higher level of your life, is evaluating your feelings and talking about how you feel, because your emotions can hinder you. We can foster negative emotions that can infest and manifest into negative reactions, negative thoughts, negative feelings, and negative outcomes. So when you get these emotions out and talk about how you feel, talk about what you feel, why you are feeling this way, what happened. It's okay, baby. Wait a minute. It's okay to feel the way that you feel. Just feel it. Allow these emotions to manifest, to come out and just allow yourself to feel. I'm telling you, that is so important. That is so important for you to talk about your feelings and how you feel on the moment to moment basis. Fix your mindset. When you have a fixed mind, I want to talk about this. Fixed mindset. So I want to talk about fixed mindset and growth mindset. So what is a fixed mindset? When change your mentality. So I wrote that down as well, because I know that there are a lot of people that need to change their mentality and the way that they think on a regular basis. I'm not saying that it is all of us, but a lot of us have some altering to do with the way that we think on the moment to moment basis. I just want to be open with the way that I think on a regular basis. So if that is you, be honest with you if you are one person who needs to change your mentality. So fixed mindset. When people When people have a fixed mindset, they are more likely to give up and they don't look for opportunity or capabilities. So this is what a fixed mindset looks like. When people have a fixed mindset, they are likely to give up. They don't look for opportunities or capabilities. Their minds are strictly stuck on their way of thinking. So you don't want to be the type of person that has a fixed mindset. There are so many different ways to think, to open up your mind to new levels of thinking. And you are not going to get there by having a fixed mindset. I know a lot of people have gotten in the habit of having a fixed way of thinking, especially seasoned folks. I'm gonna put myself in a category with seasoned folk because I am one. I am a seasoned folk. I see my gray hairs popping out everywhere, and even with me being as old as I am, not that I'm old, but even with me being at the age that I am at, I don't want myself to get stuck in a mindset that is not going to allow me to open my mind up to brand new ways of thinking, brand new opportunities, brand new capabilities, things that I may be capable of, brand new possibilities, and all of those type of things. So having a fixed mindset is just not a healthy thing for us to have mentally. I encounter people on the regular basis with such a fixed mindset. You can't get through that puppy with a hammer and a chisel. Just ain't nothing getting through there. It's like a block of cement. And that's not helpful, not to us as human beings, because we have to grow. You are not the same person today that you were yesterday. You are not the same person that you were born as an infant. Now you are the age, however, that you are right now, however old you are right now, you have grown from the time that you were born to right now. So when we allow our minds to be fixed, it stops our growth. And that is not healthy for us as human beings. We grow until we die. So having a fixed mindset is not good for anyone. And I know a lot of people who have gotten the habit of having a fixed mindset. And you can tell the people with fixed mindsets and with growth mindsets. I was going to say something that might have been a little bit offensive, so I'm not going to say that. But you could tell. You could tell when you look at somebody that just has a fixed mindset, and it looks like you are the same person that you were 20 years ago. In all reality, you've changed. You just don't want to accept the change or admit the change or get comfortable with the change. So now you just look silly. You look silly trying to think and move on your old mindset, your old ways of thinking, your old reactions, and all this type of stuff, when so much has happened with you from 10 years ago until now, but you still stuck in your same way of thinking. It's redundant. It just doesn't make any sense. So I want us to be able to allow ourselves to grow. So let's talk about having a growth mindset. People with growth mindsets are more likely to persevere. So you're more likely to grow and move forward when you allow yourself to have a growth mindset. I'm not just saying these things because I think it sounds good and that's what you want to hear, all those type of things. I'm saying it because it's reality. There are things that back up these things that I'm saying to you. People with a growth mindset are more likely to persevere. They are willing to explore different avenues of thinking in order to succeed. And that's what I got out of my studies. I did not make that up. People with a growth mindset are willing to explore different avenues of thinking in order to succeed. So that's the person you want to be. You want to be the type of person who's not allowed to explore different ways of thinking by all means necessary. By all means necessary. I don't know which civil rights activists said that when we were fighting so hard for our freedom, I don't know if it was Martin Luther King or Harriet Tubman or Mary McLeod Bethune, or I just remember hearing that so long ago when I was learning about my Black history. I believe it might have been Martin Luther King who said by any means necessary. He laid down his life and he made a major impact on this world, but that's how we have to allow our thinking to be. You got to think about how bad you want whatever the things that you want for your life. You have to think about all means necessary. Don't allow your way of thinking get in the way of you succeeding, because you will limit yourself. You will limit the possibilities that may lie ahead for you in your future if you put this block in between you, your future, and the things that that God has for you. So we have to explore different avenues of thinking in order to succeed. It's about how someone approaches challenges. It's about how someone approaches challenges, deals with failures, and adapts and evolves as a result. Mentality. It's about how someone approaches challenges. Think about that for yourself. How do you approach challenges? How do you approach challenges, deal with failures, and adapt and evolve as a result? So you have to think about those things. Are you able to adapt? Are you able to evolve? Like how is this looking for you? So it's about someone's approach to challenges. You have to think about some of the challenges that you had to face in your life. How are you dealing and adapting to some of these changes and challenges in your life? So we're talking about mentality, your mentality and your approach to different things in your life. So your thoughts influences your actions. And I'm telling you that your thoughts influence your actions in a major way. So you have to be mindful of where we are mentally and where our mentality is, because it is going to have a definite direct impact on your actions and how you react to certain things. You don't want to react to certain things in a negative way just because you are not in a good place mentally. So your thoughts definitely influence your reactions. Your mentality determines your success or failure. Now I don't know. It's up to you. It is really up to you whether you want to grasp the reality of that, but your mentality determines your success or failures. Your mentality determines your success or failures. Mindsets are formed from our experiences and can be difficult to change. So a lot of things that happen to us over the years are the reason why we feel and think the way that we feel and think on the regular basis. So it's okay because you're human, but we have to allow ourselves to not allow the things that happen to us in our past to mold our way of thinking. We have to kind of come up with our own philosophy on life. What did you get out of this experience? It might not be what you think it is. There might be more to what you think it is. The things that happen to you in your life. A lot of times, I said this before and I will say it again, we think that life is just things that happen to us. The things that happen to you can actually be the things that are happening for you. It can be happening for you to help mold you and grow you, and God has allowing certain things to happen for you in your life that can actually work out in your favor. So sometimes we think that these things are just attacking us, and why did I have to go through this in life, and why did I have to be born in a certain set of circumstances and all of these type of things, when in all reality these things can be just the things that you needed, the ingredients to mold and make your life exactly what you wanted it to be. So sometimes we have to rethink about how we look at certain situations that happened to us in our past. Maybe it's not as devastating as you thought it would be. I love Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is the author of Think and Grow Rich. That book sold millions and millions of copies all over the world. And Napoleon Hill said his biggest blessing was his mother dying at a very young age. His mother dying at a very young age brought him a new stepmother. His dad remarried this amazing woman who he gives so much credit for the success that he gained over the years. She planted so much great seeds of hope and all of these type of things that he don't think would have never happened if it wasn't for his mother passing away and him being able to meet the woman who eventually became his stepmother. So we think the worst things happen, the worst case scenarios, and he said that was his biggest blessing, was losing his mother at a young age. And a lot of us go through things as devastating as us losing a loved one, and we think about these things in a way that is very devastating because we can only look at the hurt that it has caused us. We don't look at the blessing that may come out of it. And I know it sounds crazy, like how can you find a blessing in losing a loved one? It can happen. It can happen. It's all the way that we look. I'm telling you, your mentality, your mindset, the way that you set these things up in your mind and choose to think about these things can be very beneficial for you. So you have to think about these things in a way that it is going to help you. So our mindset, it can be formed from the things that happen to us in our life, but it all depends on how we choose to look at these things. So we should never let outside circumstances or individuals determine the way we are as humans. And I know that so many of us have probably been doing this for way too long. We allow outside circumstances, people, and all of these type of things influence how we are and who we are as humans, and it's kind of hard to pull away from that mindset, especially when you have allowed yourself to be stuck in that mindset for way too long. But if you wanted to kind of shift the direction that your life has been going in, if you feel like you've been harping on something that is not so beneficial or positive or helping your life in the ways that you want it to help your life, if you want to see different outcomes in your life as you know it, you want to kind of change the way that you think about not change the way, but not allow, even moving forward, not allow outside circumstances or individuals determine who we are as humans and mold our thinking for us. We want to kind of step outside the box and form our own mentality on these things and be able to think of things in a way that it is going to be beneficial for us. So respect, knowledge, and understanding. This is going to form your mentality. Respect, knowledge, and understanding. Those are the things that your mentality that is going to be formed in. And the one word that stands out to me most is understanding. Understanding is going to be so important for you to be able to open your mind up and be a little more understanding towards each other. Us as human beings, we can be more understanding towards each other. We can be more understanding towards life. We can be more understanding towards our situation and the things that happens to us on the regular basis. Sometimes things are beyond our understanding, and sometimes we have to understand that everything is not for us to understand and just let it go. Sometimes we kind of beat our brains up with certain things over and over and over again. It ain't do nothing but give you a headache. Now you sitting up there, your head hurt, you're trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure it out. Everything is not going to be for you to figure out. So understand that, or be a little more understanding towards each other as human beings, or even towards your own situation. If you find a little bit more of understanding within yourself and within other individuals, it would make your life a little more easier, pleasant, peaceful. You won't have to try to drive yourself crazy trying to figure out all of these things all the time. Everything may not be for your understanding. You ain't that smart. You ain't even that intelligent for you to be trying to grasp the concept of all of these things all at one time, and you sitting up here running yourself crazy trying to understand all this stuff and trying to figure it out and all this kind of things and blah blah freaking flippity blah, and everything is just not going to be to your understanding. So I allowed myself to grasp the concept of that a long time ago, that everything is not going to be personally to my understanding. And you want to have a respect. You want to have a respect for God. You want to have a respect for life. You want to have a respect for one another. That's going to mold your mentality. And knowledge. Knowledge for me is like food. Knowledge feeds me so much. I love learning. Every single day I try to learn something new. I'm reading stuff. I'm reading things off the internet. I'm reading things in books. I'm learning things from life and in nature and from people and being outside. I'm telling you, life itself is a lesson. I'm learning from my past. I'm learning from my relationships. These are the things that are going to mold your mentality. These are the things that is going to help you when forming your mentality. So remember those three words: respect, knowledge, and understanding. That is going to help your mentality. We have to survive. We have to survive. As long as we are living, we have to do the things that we need to do to survive. And a lot of us out here are barely doing that. We are surviving by the skin of our teeth. And I don't want us to survive by the skin of our teeth. I want that thing to be a landslide, like scared. I want you to slide up in there with the trophy and championship, and I want you to win the victory. I don't want you to just barely survive. I don't want to just barely survive. I don't want that for myself or for other people. I want to be able to survive in a miraculous way. I want to be able to make it through in a big way. I want to win the victory over my life. So we have to survive. And one sure way that we can ensure some kind of hope for us having a beautiful survival story is by the way that we shape our mentality. Some of us story ain't so good. Some of us story just flat out sad, the way that a lot of people are living on the regular basis. Even right now, the things that you are going through are taking power over your life. Like, you are not even you are your story. Somebody asks you how you doing, you like, well, everything revolves around what you are going through right now. That should not be the case. Like, you gotta be like, I'm killing this, I'm ripping this, I'm smashing this. Like, this thought it was gonna overtake me, but I'm overtaking this, I'm overcoming this, I'm winning the victory over this. That was yesterday. That's yesterday. We tackling a whole nother set of circumstances and challenges, all type of things that we have to make it through today. We are not going to allow the circumstances of our life to overcome us. And I look at people so often on a regular basis that you look like your story. You don't have to look like what you are going through. You don't. I know I'm limping on crutches right now because of what happened to me, but you don't have people still asking me. Somebody walked up to me yesterday, like, what, you got a tore ACL? No. I don't know what's torn. Something torn in there, but it ain't from me working out or doing the things that I enjoy doing on a regular basis. I got to tell my story because they be like, wow, you don't even look like you was all smashed up in the pile up collision and all that a month and a half ago. Yes, because I don't want to look like what I'm going through. You ain't gonna know unless I told you. And I'm telling you, you don't have to look like what you going through. That story ain't got to tell you. You can tell the story of how you made it through it and how you continue to make it through it on the regular basis. We have to stop allowing the circumstances of life to overtake us. Stop walking around here looking like your story. Nobody should know your story unless you told it to them. It should not be written all over you. Walking around here potty mouth and you are, somebody asks you how you doing, no, come on. We're going to do away with all of that. We're going to do away with all of that, and we're going to tackle the circumstances of life, and it's all going to determine of how you set these things up in your mind mentally. Like, where's your mentality? Where's your outlook on this situation? Because you can look at it and interpret it in a way that it is going to be beneficial to you in your life, or you can interpret it and look at it in a way where it is going to overtake you. I'm tired of a lot of people out here walking around looking like they story. Y'all got to be done with that. I'm telling you, you have to be done with looking like what you're going through, because you don't have to look like what you're going through. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move past that. But we got to tell the story about how we survive. You surviving right now. So find your way in the world. Travel the path not taken. So that is that your mentality. That is it right there. Your mentality and the way that you think. Everybody trying to jump on board with the same thing, going in the same direction and doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, and all these type of things and all of this type of stuff. Find your own path. It's okay to find your own path. It's okay to travel the road not taken. You can go your own way, do your own thing, do what is happy and comfortable for you. Form your own way of thinking of things in your own mind, and do things in a way that it is going to be pleasing to you and having a positive impact on your life. So find your way in the world. So changing your mindset from negative to positive takes consistent effort and work. It is not going to happen accidentally. It is not going to happen overnight. It is not going to happen because somebody told you to do it. Ain't nobody else going to do it for you. Excuse me. It is going to take constant effort on your part. Some of y'all think that you don't have to change your mentality. If you know one sure way that you know that you have a mentality that needs to be altered and changed, all you got to do is look at your life. That's all you got to do. Look at your life as you know it. That's going to tell the story right there. Now, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening with you right now? What is the series of events, of things that has been happening with you? How do you feel? How did you feel yesterday? How did you feel today? How did you feel last week? Are things changing? Do you feel good about the direction that your life is going in? Because we can think that it is everything else and not the way that we think about certain things. And in our reality, it ain't nobody else. It's you. It is your mentality, the way that you look at things, the way that you interpret things, the way that you react to things. This is all you. I'm telling you that it's you. I'm telling you because I'm trying to help you. And if you want to see different changes and things happen for you differently, you can get whatever you want in your life. You can be happy. You can be in a loving relationship. You can have the finances that you want. You can have a great line of health, regardless the status of your health right now. It is all in the way that you look at these things. I'm telling you, it is more in the way that you look at it than not. And I don't think that we see it in that way. So it is going to take constant effort and work on your part. So never stop trying to be great. Bring out your greatness, bring out your full potential, bring out the greatness in you to the best of your ability. Set yourself up for success and go from being good to being great. And that is all going to determine the mentality that you approach life with. That don't have nothing to do with nobody else. This is all you, boo-boo. Your mentality, the way that you have gotten in the habit to thinking of things, setting these things up in your mind, and all of those type of things. This is all your mentality, your approach to life. And you going from good to great. This is all going to be up to you. So I do have a quote. I'm going to leave you guys with the quote and with the affirmation before I get out of here. But real quick, I just want to say thank you. Shout out to you guys that are here on my live. I see you. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for your presence here. I hope you got something out of that message on mentality. I know that that message on mentality was for me as well. I want to be able to shift my ways of thinking in a way where I know it is going to be beneficial for me and my future and my goals and my life and my dreams and my desires and the things that I want out of life, my future, my children, my health, my finances. All of these things, it is going to be up to you, your mentality, the way that you have gotten in the way of thinking about things. And if you have a mentality set up in your own mind in a way that is not very beneficial for you in your life, it is not too late for you to alter and change these things. You can change it in a direction that you want it to go in at any given time. That's why I'm here. I am here to share a message of hope, love, peace, all of these things, and give you some kind of light at the end of your tunnel. Because just because that's where you are right now, that does not mean that's where you have to be for the rest of your life. You can shift these things in your mind and in your life that it is going to be very beneficial for you in your future. So I love you guys that are here, right here, joining in with my live. I'm not going to be very long because I have to get out of here. But before I go, I'm going to leave you guys with a quote and with an affirmation, and I will see you guys at my next life lesson coming up, Lord willing. I will be back here on Saturday with my next life lesson. So my quote is wait a minute. My quote is from Mr. Norman Vincent Peale. He is famous for writing The Power of Positive Thinking. They have that as an audio book and they have that as a paperback. I'm sure that I listened to that audio book at least 4.5 times. As a matter of fact, that is an audio book that I am going to get into this week. I believe it may be about between 3 and 5 hours long. I don't mind listening to long audio books and lectures and just feeding my brain all of this goodness. But Mr. Norman Vincent Peale has made a very positive impact on motivational speakers, and just these are the things that I get into on a regular basis. So I have heard this man's name a million times, and he has made such a great positive impact on my world as I know it, from the things that he contributed to motivational speaking and all of those type of things, and being an author. So Mr. Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking, quoted this, which the Power of Positive Thinking sold over 5 million copies worldwide and was translated into over 40 languages. So I wrote that down. I was like, that's goals. I would love to see the day that my books sell millions of copies all over the world and are translated into languages all over the world. I want to be able to have that impact on people. So Mr. Norman Vincent Peale is an author that I admire as well. So this is what Mr. Norman Vincent Peale said: change your thoughts and you change your world. So that's really a short, simple quote. Change your thoughts and you change your world as you know it. And I talk to people like this all the time because people get in the habit of looking for outside sources to change the things that can only be changed internally. There is a very limited of how far the possibilities of how far you can grow and go in life, depending on the outside sources. That is limited. What takes the limits off is the things that you do internally. That's when you bust that door wide open and there is endless possibilities for you. So change your thoughts and you can change your world. He said, change your thoughts. I want to say it exactly how he said it. Change your thoughts and you change your world. And that speaks volumes to me, because I'm 100% sure that people don't give that the credit that it deserves to have. When you change your own way of thinking, it will change your outside world, the world around you. So a lot of ways that we think on a regular basis sometimes won't be very beneficial to us, and we can think that it is because everything that is going on around us. And we're talking about mentality today, where you are mentally, the ways that you have allowed yourself to get in the habit of thinking, your thought patterns, your negative thinking habits, your positive thinking habits, and how these things tend to mold your life. So if you change your thoughts, you will change your world. And that was the words of a very wise, intelligent, and successful man. Thank you, Mr. Norman Vincent Peale, for leaving those words of wisdom. I hope that that resonates with someone, because that is real. When you change your thoughts, your ways of thinking, your patterns of thinking, your world will change. It will not only change, but it will change in a way that you want it to change. So we all want that for ourselves. So my affirmation is simply, I am enough. And you are enough. You can go to God as you are. You can approach your life as you are. You can move forward with your life as you are. You can live the life that you desire as you are. You are enough as you are, but it is up to you to grow and learn and move forward and be whatever that you desire in your heart. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. I know people that are 10, 15, 20 years older than I am, financially well off, that just don't live a life that is pleasing to them. So if your life is not very pleasing to you, you can approach your life with the attitude of you being enough. And I'm going to take what I have, what God blessed me with. I'm going to elevate, uplift myself, and move forward to where I want to be. I want you to start where you are with what you have and move forward to the life that you desire in your heart, because you are enough. So that is my affirmation for today. I want you to say that to yourself over and over and over and over and over again. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you are enough. Not just because I said so, because you are. You are enough as you are. And if you want more, you can get more. You can be more. You can have whatever you desire out of this world and out of life. But you have to want these things for yourself. And you have to be very mindful of your mentality, the way that it is molded, and the things that you want out of life, and the things that how you should alter your mentality in a way that it is going to be beneficial for the things that you want out of life, the things that you want to see happen for yourself and for your life. It is all going to determine your thought patterns and your thought habits and the ways that you have gotten in the habit of thinking. So I hope I got that message across. I got like so many things happening at one time. My phone is ringing. I'm supposed to be doing different stuff and all of these type of things. I got notifications going off. I'm supposed to be walking out the door like yesterday. But thank you all so much for being here, being present, joining in on my live. Real quick before I go, please like, share, and subscribe. I am over 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. On my Facebook, that is True Value, Knowing Your Worth on YouTube. Also, my books are available and on sale on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version, or you can get your paperback version, whatever you prefer. You can listen to it as an audio book. I believe that option is on there, or you can just have the digital copy if you don't want to bother stacking up more books in your book collection for my book readers out there. I know I got books everywhere. Books be like falling on my head sometimes. I know I need to get rid of some books and replace them with some more books. But anyway, my books are True Value, Knowing Your Worth, Walking Treasure, Discover Your Hidden Treasure, Feed Your Soul, Your Personal Guide to Health and Wellness, and Religiously. And that is taking a closer look at spirituality and religion. And I have actually started writing my 5th book that is called Misunderstood, and that is the spoken truth of the unspoken. So you don't want to miss out on Misunderstood either. I am so excited to continue to dive into that project and looking forward to the outcome of what that is going to be. But I love you guys. God bless you. Your mentality is important. Take peace with you today. Take love with you today. Be happy today. Put a smile on your face. Put things in your mind that is going to ensure a sense of peace and joy in your spirit and in your heart. I'm telling you, what you think determines how you feel. These things are going to have a reflection on your future and what is going on with you on a moment-to-moment basis. Your mentality is very important. Be mindful of your thoughts and your ways of thinking, and thinking negatively and thinking positively, the things that you want for your life, and how your thought patterns have an impact. It has a direct impact on your life. I broke down to you in this life lesson today of how studies have shown, researchers and psychologists had done brain scans and all the, I am not making these things up. I know you guys hear me talk about having a positive mental attitude and mental health and all these things. You hear me talk about these things so often, and I just really want to express the importance of these things to you so you can be mindful of it. So you can't say Sakira didn't tell you, and you can't say you didn't know, because I am telling you right now, what you choose to do with that information is totally, absolutely up to you. But in the meantime, enjoy this hot August day. Do what pleases your spirit. Kiss somebody, hug somebody, tell someone you love them, encourage someone to watch this message on mentality. You never know who it may help along the way. In the meantime, God bless you, and you guys continue to stay blessed.